What a beautiful day, isn't it, Julia?
Besides the smell of fish, yeah, beautiful.
What is that, a coloring book? Wait, I think I got one. Help me.
Oh! Oh my gosh, that's my missing shoe.
Almost lunchtime. Let's go back to the market and sell the fish we do have.
I like my suitcase.
Let's go sell this fish to Gordon.
Hey, that's me on the
The
news.
city is celebrating as Fisher Girl finally found her missing shoe. In other news, the high-profile development of Cascade Manor was settled today with our city using the technique of anchoring to achieve favorable terms.
Wait, like this anchor?
No, silly, anchoring, the negotiation technique. Anchoring refers to a cognitive bias in which individuals rely too heavily on an initial piece of information, the anchor, when making decisions or judgments. Subsequent decisions are adjusted relative to this anchor, even if it is irrelevant or misleading.
Hey, how did you...
Well, actually, the full term is anchoring and insufficient adjustment. Insufficient adjustment is a cognitive bias where individuals, after being influenced by an initial anchor, fail to make adequate adjustments away from it when estimating or making decisions, leading to outcomes that are closer to the anchor than they should be. Yeah, I read it all in this book.
Wait, you can read?
There were 6 terms negotiated between the city of Bainbridges and the Alki Corporation, the developers looking to build them in. These 6 topics are the height of the building, number of inspectors and subcontractors, amount of open space, taxes, and agreed price for another project. First, the Alki Corporation opened with their demands for the height of the proposed project.
We're Alki, and we need 8 stories for this to all work.
8 stories? That is going to be out of the picture. It'll ruin the scenic nature of the city.
We will counter that with 4 stories.
In this scene, they ended up agreeing on 6 stories, right between the 2 initial offers.
Wow, Alki Corporation anchored with a height of 8 stories, but the city countered with a sufficient adjustment of 4 stories, not giving in to the original proposal.
That's right, the city sufficiently adjusted to the anchor, countering its effects on the final agreement height. In 1974 paper, Judgment Under Uncertainty, Heuristics and Biases, psychologists Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman introduced the anchoring and adjustment heuristic. This concept explains how individuals often heavily rely on the initial piece of information, the anchor, when making decisions or estimates, leading to insufficient adjustments and potential biases. In the city's decision-making process, the initial 8-story proposal served as the anchor. The substantial adjustment reflects a conscious effort to counteract the anchoring bias and align the outcome with the city's aesthetic preferences.
Next, a key term that was equally important for both sides was real estate taxes.
Right now, we have talked about the real estate taxes being at $700,000. Our break-even is $400,000, and this would mean a huge loss for us over the 10 years of payment.
$700,000 is actually a loss for us too.
How? Our break-even amount is $1 million.
$1 million?
Here, the city cleverly used the technique of anchoring. In reality, their break-even real estate tax was only $700,000. By anchoring at $1 million, they were able to successfully move the midpoint of the negotiation.
We're at $400K and you're at $1 million. The middle is $700K. If we can get taxes down to $600K, we will be open to giving you up to 30% open space.
Wow, now that's an anchor without sufficient adjustment in full effect.
Exactly. With Elkai revealing their true break-even sales tax at $400K, they left themselves vulnerable to an anchor from the city.
And that's just what they did, anchoring above their true break-even price all the way up to $1 mil, moved the middle, and created leverage for them.
Right? By Elkai not sufficiently adjusting and acknowledging the new midpoint on taxes as $700K, they put themselves in a losing situation.
Right, the true midpoint was $550K, the middle of the actual break-even points of $400 and $700K.
Exactly, and the best part is Elkai offered to concede on other issues like open space if they get $600K in tax.
What? $600K was above the original midpoint, so you're telling me the city used this technique to create leverage while not giving up anything?
Exactly, they were able to get better terms on green space and other topics leveraging this new middle.
Overall, the city won this negotiation, securing more profit than their counterparts. We will now bring onto the show the local know-it-all, Nick, to further explain in this week's Scholars Corner.
Oh, didn't see you there. Welcome. First of all, I want to thank you for that amazing and very kind introduction. As explained, the concept of anchoring and insufficient adjustment was so important in this negotiation because it allowed the city to create leverage on all other terms. In general, this concept can be used to create leverage in other situations, such as bargaining the price of fish, for example. But now let's look a little bit deeper. First, by looking at Lee and colleagues' research, too precise to pursue, we can see how the city successfully delivered an anchor that wasn't too rigid to prevent unwillingness to negotiate. Actually, the opposite. Presenting a flexible anchor invited Alki to concede other terms, effectively moving the middle. Second, Major and colleagues' research highlighting the power of strategic language was really showcased by the city as they framed the anchor as more of a statement, right? Instead of saying we want real estate taxes above $700,000, they made the statement of our break even is $1 million. And they successfully used psychological framing to make Alki more receptive to concessions, negating loss aversion. Finally, Ames and Mason explored the power of aggressive anchors, and with Alki's true break-even exposed, the city leveraged this knowledge and their concealed information to make a bold statement about their own break-even taxes, creating an anchor Alki could simply not ignore.
Let's utilize the concepts we saw in the news to help us sell this fish.
Hey, it's Gordon Ramsay.
You're late!
Gordon, we're here to sell you this fish.
That tiny thing, I can barely see it.
To be honest, this fish is probably only worth $20, but we can shift Gordon's perceived value of the fish using anchoring. Let's make our initial offer $100.
Right. According to Cialdini, anchoring biases where individuals unknowingly skew their judgment toward the anchor value. We can further use the initial anchor setting phenomenon to create $100 as a psychological reference point in Gordon's head.
We'll offer you $100 for this fish.
Listen, the truth is, I want to buy this fish for $20. I guess I'll have to do 50.
I certainly won't do 100. I'll do 50.
Insufficiently adjusted, this fish is worth 20, but we'll give it to him for 50 and make him buy from us every day this week.
Fine, we'll do 50, but under one term. You must buy from us every day this week.
Deal.
The research matches the outcome and they all lived happily ever after.